I think it goes without saying that I cannot think of any subject that has presented itself in the past, I don't know, period of time that is as fascinating as the drone subject. The good news is Luigi Testa de Cazzo has been completely knocked off of the front page. No one cares anymore about him and his stupid manifesto or his stupid whatever it is. It's over. Over. That's the best news. I love that because I hate that guy. I despise that guy. And I despise even more how so many stupid Americans are falling for this business because he's a hero. Okay? Sorry. But that's me. All right. Now, up till now, I have been listening because I'm in the middle of this. I'm on one of those balance boards. And I live in a world where I try to negotiate as best as possible a variety of different people who they mean well. They truly, truly mean well. Okay? They really do. But they don't know what to do. I've got one group of people who have never, ever, ever strayed from anything other than CNN. You know these people. They don't know what they're talking about. They do not know anything other than if it's not in the newspaper, if it's not, they don't know what to do. I meet these people. And they watch Fox News or they listen to Newsmax or CNN, and it just never goes any further. It's like imagine you are living, you're on a diet of 1950s Swanson frozen dinners, and somebody takes you to an Indian restaurant, and you think, oh my God, what is this? That's what they are. So I've got those people, and you know them as well. These are these baby, they're Trump MAGA people who really don't want to. I mean, their idea of something interesting is gray gut bucket or who knows, whatever this is. So they're over there, and they're in the same group as the lefties who watch CNN. Believe it or not, they know they also don't know anything. It's like if I speak English and you speak French, but we're both in a group of people who don't speak German, we have nothing in common other than we don't speak German. Okay? We have nothing in common. We are as opposite, but we do share one thing. We don't speak German. And the CNN group and the Fox News group share one thing in common. They don't know what the hell's going on. When it comes to this, now, when you want to know what's going on with this, where do you go? Well, the first place you have to go are people who are really interested in new news. Let me give you an analogy. In the 70s, I guess, when you wanted to know what was good in terms of music, you went to a music store. I loved record stores. We don't have anymore. And I mean like an old record store and a head shop where they had the posters and the metal frames, and I could just spend hours just looking at the albums and the art, and it's wonderful. Okay. And this is the thing which is so interesting. So I go there, and then I hear people, and there'll be somebody who is in charge of the it's kind of like maybe a head. Remember, these call him a head, long-haired guy who knows what's new. You go to hear new music, and this is somebody that is incredible, but it's important. Okay, this is one of those things which is so important. So you go into this, and you talk to somebody who says, this guy you may not want this person, dating your sister, but by God, he sure knows music. He's turned me on to stuff I never even, to me, the Firebirds, and my God. Well, if you want to know what's going on, you have to go to Alex Jones. You have to go to other people. You have to go to, have you seen band videos and Greg Reese and wonderful stuff. There's a fantastic article. In fact, I hope you are subscribed to I can't say it enough. I hope you are subscribed to the newsletter, which one went out today, first thing in the morning, which is terrific. Absolutely one of the best. And I take John Leake. It has a wonderful piece. And there's just, there's another one from Econo Times. That's coming out later on. I'm going to read this to you, but it deals with clandestine operations. And again, I'm in the middle, and I'm saying, okay, let me hear it. Let me hear the information. Just like I go into the music store, I said, let me hear something new. But I know I'm going to hear it from you. I'm not going to hear it by going to Sam Goody in the old days. Remember that? Or whatever. We're not interested in that. In order to hear the really interesting views, you have to go elsewhere. So we have to move away. If you want to know what's going on. Now, if you like Fox News, if you want to just say, if you just want to do this, yay, okay, fine. Knock yourself out. God bless President Trump. God bless the fact that we won. But I'm moving on from that. I'm going to go into other stuff too. I'm not going to sit there. So a couple of things have fascinated me. Number one, why hasn't the president sent Elon Musk straight to this site to find out what's going on? What are we learning about? Last night there was a fellow, and this is very interesting too. When somebody comes forward and does something, Joe Rogan, he referenced, there was a fellow, you might have seen him on X, which, by the way, you're not going to hear this if you're watching the Faulkner Focus or Hannity or Jake Tapper or Greg Kelly, or you're just not going to hear this. You're in AM, but if you want to hear AOR and that great, interesting world music, you're not going to hear it there. It's okay, but it's for children. It's for children. It's very simple. It's about personality but not information, because they have a rule where they don't want to go beyond this. They don't want to be conspiratorial. Okay. So this guy came out, it was on X or Twitter, as we call it. And he says, it's very interesting. He says, hey guys, he does the guys thing. You got to say guys, because it's not legit if you don't say guys. So he says, hey guys, I'm involved in, I make military drones. And he shows this. You might have seen it. Seems like an affable enough guy. And he says, let me explain this to you. Years ago, he talked about nuclear or nuclear. Now, when somebody says nuclear, I'm out the door. If you're saying nuclear, I'm gone. I have to have somebody do the reading, because I cannot listen to you anymore if you say nuclear. I can't. Say Jordan Peterson. I hear the frequency of his voice. I turn it. I can't do it. I can't. I don't know what it is. I can't. Nuclear, Jordan Peterson, I can't. So people say, do you hear what Jordan Peterson? I don't know. I can't. It's like a frequency I can't hear. I can't. All right. So he said something interesting. He said, and he talked about nuclear bombs or armaments or warheads that somehow slipped out years ago. And one person that he knows, said he had his hands, quote, hands on an actual device. Okay. Cut to the chase. It has been suspected that these drones are a part of a government covert op to hunt hidden WMDs, dirty bombs, radiologic, gamma ray emitting bombs, and the like. Okay? This is the premise. This is the premise. You got this? Okay. By the way, you know what a caco epi is? No. Are you going to look it up? No. But caco epi or cacoepi or cacoepis is somebody who says nuclear. It is a mispronunciation. There are others. There's orthoepi. There are some people who, for example, will pronounce a word differently. For example, sometimes Canadians and Brits will say film. Put film in the camera, an old concept. Are they saying it? No. Iron. Norm MacDonald said iron. He's pronouncing the word. He's pronouncing the words. Nuclear is of or pertaining to a nucleus. It's not the right word. It's a different word. Prostrate surgery is not a mispronunciation. It's another word. Anyway, okay. And by the way, that's to throw things out so people can just on the side note, because whenever we do this, whenever there's side chatter, people will love to say, give me something to talk about. Chitty, chitty, bang, bang, boom. And they're off for hours talking about Dick Van Dyke and whatever it is, which is fine. Doesn't matter. Now, going back to this, he said something very interesting. First, why he would do something that would, in any event, in any way, have him lose his job as a maker of military UAVs or drones, I have no idea, because what he's saying is going to be used against him. They're going to say, you just lost your contract because now you're letting the people know. And he said something very interesting, and this caught my attention. He said, first of all, they're looking for something. They can't tell you what it is because they don't want to scare you, right? But he said one of the reasons why he knows something up is because they're flying at night. He said there is no reason for a drone or a UAV to be flying at night. None. The only thing they normally do the only reason is for the camera. It's the only thing you want to do, unless it's detecting gas leaks, and even that's tough, or when it's fixed with certain types of equipment to detect gamma ray and other forms of exposure. That's what it's looking for. That's why it flies at night. The fact that you're seeing a drone at night means this is for something other than classic drone operations and the like. Okay? Now, let me explain something to you. I have a brand new, later on, it's going out today. Sign up for this. I can't say this enough, my friends. Sign up for this. How do I say this? Hang on a second here. This is a good one, by the way. I have been everybody that I'm getting, don't ask me why. I feel honored. People I know are calling me. What do you think? It's like, as though I know what's going on. And I think what they're saying is, I don't necessarily jump to conclusions. See, I'm not one of these usual, as you know, I'm not somebody who normally believes what everybody else believes in. I've told you that from the beginning. And that drives a lot of Trump people crazy, certainly a lot of lefties, because they don't necessarily glom on to what everybody says. In fact, I always think whenever you agree with the crowd, you are almost always per se incorrect. But let me see if I can explain this to you. So you must do this brand new one. Let me read this one to you. And I'm going to give you a little headline. Again, the information is there to sign up for this. This is the best one. Okay. And there are various sites. I'll always cite the information. And by the way, remember, if you're going to get something like this, you're not going to be hearing this on the Faulkner Focus or The Five, or Caitlin Collins, or whatever her name, the brow lady. You're not going to hear that. So you have to go elsewhere. So there is a fleet of unidentified drones observed over multiple U.S. regions. Of course, it's not just New Jersey, New York, has been, according to this one particular piece, linked to a clandestine counterterrorism operation, according to various insider operations, and from a source possessing apparently special access clearance. Now, you can read this later, and you can read this and you can decide, do I want this or not? Or you can watch the Faulkner Focus or Factor or whatever it's called, or Fulcrum, or it's got to be alliterative. Okay. The covert mission is reportedly directed by the elusive, and I guarantee you, nobody will ever talk to you about this. Never. Nobody will ever discuss this. Never. You have to know where to go look for this. But anyway, it's the rather elusive Office of Global Access, OGA. And this is centering on detecting gamma radiation, indicative of a potential nuclear weapon or mass casualty device or dirty bomb covertly situated along America's east and west coast. The revelations not only implicate the highest levels of national security, but expose the opaque and dark and clandestine practices of a federal government that appears intent on withholding critical truths from the American people. By the way, as to the OGA, there was another story. The Daily Mail, which I love, by the way, provided 3 sources briefed on alleged top secret operations. Said that the OGA, by the way, which is a wing of the CIA's Science and Technology Directorate, has played a central and significant role since 2003 in orchestrating the collection of what could be alien spacecraft. And as they say on QVC, but wait, there's more. Are you following this? Let me see. Let me tune in. Pilgrim said, didn't I say they were looking for something? You got that right, Pilgrim. God damn it. You got that right. Didn't I say they were looking for something? Son of a bitch. Here we were saying, what are they doing? And you said, like, with this absolute laser focus, I think they're looking for something. God damn it. God. Unbelievable. Okay. You are correct about that, my friend. Let the truth be told. So anyway, I'm merely telling you what I'm hearing. So the details provided by these sources depict a national security operation of unprecedented scope, shrouded in deliberate secrecy and executed under the guise of maintaining public order. Now, according to this insider, cited accordingly, the drones in question are indisputably American assets deployed under a classified intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance directive, ISR. The operation seeks to preemptively identify and neutralize a looming threat of radiological catastrophe while circumventing public awareness and avoiding potential unrest. But I tell people, you're not going to worry about unrest because Americans don't get unrest about anything. We don't really care. Americans don't care. Now, at the operational core of the mission, listen to this, are advanced drones equipped with state-of-the-art gamma ray detection systems capable of identifying even the most minute radiation signatures. That's why you are seeing them at night, because drones do not travel at night. Because again, the reason for the drones, for the most part, is some type of photographic, not landscaping, surveying and that sort of thing. These drones operate at low altitudes, systematically scanning U.S. coastal areas for traces of nuclear material or other radiological threats. Now, complementing the aerial surveillance, this is important, are specialized aircraft and advanced detection platforms tasked with sweeping areas of high vulnerability, including major ports, airports, and densely populated urban centers, where the fallout of an undetected device could be catastrophic. Big cities, New York, New Jersey, West Coast as well, Washington, it's not just here. Now, simultaneously, special ops units remain on high alert, prepared to mobilize instantly should actionable intelligence emerge. Cyber intelligence teams, for their part, are meticulously monitoring encrypted communications and terror networks, so we are told, searching and scanning for digital breadcrumbs and hints that could lead to the identification of the threat. You with me so far? Okay, good. Now, the implications of the operation raise deeply troubling questions about the integrity of America's defense infrastructure. Reports suggest that the suspected weapon may have breached U.S. defenses through a failure of the, and I love this, SOSUS, Sound Surveillance System. This is a sophisticated underwater network tasked with detecting submarine activity. Alternatively, intelligence posits that such a device could have been smuggled into the country via cargo containers or vehicles, circumventing conventional security measures entirely. Both scenarios underscore critical vulnerabilities in national security. Listen to me. Systems that were thought to be impervious, systems that we thought were unbreachable, thus exposing the extent. And you're not going to hear this on the Ingram angle, whatever it's called, or Wolf Blitzer, or whoever it is. But this exposes the extent to which bureaucratic insufficiency and systemic complacency may have compromised the nation's safety. You with me on this? You following me on this? You digging me on this one? You got this? KN says, wait a minute, there we go. Hang on a minute. Just a minute. Why the hell isn't this working? KN says, let me see this. Let me try this. Let me try this. KN says, they only search from dusk to 11 p.m. You would think they would search 24/7 until object is found. Part-time searching, I guess. Wrong. They are searching at night as well. And not dusk to 11. I don't know who they are. It's a very interesting point. I think they are looking always. The problem is the power systems for these. To have a battery, you can't send these things out. They're not. Some are orbs and some are different propeller types, and I don't know enough about these. But just listen to this. Listen to what we're saying. Don't react yet. Just take this in first. Now, this vacuum has unsurprisingly been filled by a storm of public speculation and unease with reports of drones performing precise surveillance patterns, sparking widespread concern. Social media platforms also are ablaze with commentary, with users expressing outrage over the lack of transparency and voicing fears of a potential disaster. Skeptics have questioned the administration's motivations. What administration? There is no administration. There is no administration. There is no Biden administration. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Now, it gets even better. The government's current strategy of silence and obfuscation. And you got to ask yourself, did somebody go to Trump and say, listen, you got to help us on this? Could they be legit? Could they actually say, we got a serious problem here. We need your help. We want you to work with us on this. Do you think maybe that's why Trump's not sending Elon down there? And why is Trump instead saying, shoot them down? It's like, wait a minute. Oh, this isn't Chinese, this is us. If that's true. Are you thinking about this? Now remember, when you've been doing this as long as I do, nobody listens to you. They just start talking. They just start reacting. They don't listen. They don't say, this is something you will never see in my country. Never. No. You see this reaction because we have to react. You cannot let any time go by without you reacting. Now, the OGA is fantastic. This is so interesting. The nation right now is at a crossroads. Drones sweeping American skies are not merely a technical marvel. They are a symbol of the growing chasm between government. And we are freaked out. Now, what do we know? We don't know. We don't know. Now, also remember, be alert and be aware of the possible false flag implications of this. There is nothing more that a Victoria Nuland would want more than anything else than to blame Russia. Brian Echtel says, can we still buy the Lionel coffee cups? You know, we're going to have a new batch. Go and look at the new ones. The old ones we're not going to make those anymore. Had some problem with design or whatever. But the new ones, in fact, I've got an order a bunch myself. Go and look and you can buy them. They make a great stocking stuffer and they're fine for dad and grad. And I mean that sincerely. Now, let me explain something. Let's talk about this. Preparewithlionel.com. What do you think is going to happen not even if there is a, God forbid, some kind of a device, but the mere fear of it? What do you see how this is coming up? Do you see? Are you ready for this? Do you know what shelter in place means? Do you understand what this means? Let me tell you what it means. The classic shelter in place is when there's some kind of some environmental problem, some environmental threat, radiation, fire, ammonia spill, any kind of, industrial. That's what shelter in place is. It means stay inside. Don't go outside. We use it during COVID mania. If there is something like this, they will shut down everything to keep you inside, including stores. Preparewithlionel.com. You are being handed, if there is a God is constantly handing you new ways to say hello. 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 I'm warning you. Preparewithlionel.com. And to get you going, to get you out of this torpor, this kind of like this ossified paralysis, they have the 4-week food kit. They've never had this before. 28 days, $187 for 28 days worth of food. 12 essential amino acids and vitamins. Last 25 years. 4 heavy-duty layer pouches in water-resistant buckets. 16 variety of breakfast, lunches, dinner, drinks, the whole bit. It is saying hello. Hello. They're telling you, be careful. Pay attention. Preparewithlionel.com. I don't want to be spooky ghoulish here. Hello. Now remember, Raul Rodriguez says, how long will it be before the government inform us? I don't know. The government? No. Now, here's what's going to happen. People are going to be saying, well, you got your potassium, and you got your iodine, and here's what you do. Okay, fine. Because you always have the blowhards and the experts and what you got to know is you see if you got it. Okay, fine. And that's the way it is. So we have this. We have one group of people who would have no clue about anything. Then you have other groups who know everything. Well, I could have told you this. I knew something would happen. I knew it. My God, that's why I've got my selenium. That's why I've got my polybaptide. And I've got my foil hat. And that's because I knew about this. I knew about this for the long. I warned you. I've been telling you okay, thank you very much. No. You got those groups. And then you've got these other groups of people too. I was explaining to somebody about continuity of government. One of the best people ever is Alex Jones. Johnny Mazes says, how no fear, Jack Keane. Oh, have no fear. General Jack Keane is on it. Yeah. He doesn't know too much. Remember who he is. Remember who Jack Keane is. Institute for the Study of Warriors from the Newlands and the Kagans and the whole bit. Continuity of government. What's that? Continuity of government. What did they say? What do you think about this? Anybody? Spandex is dehydrating filet mignon, ribeyes. That's good. Codfish. You better be doing a lot of that. How are we doing this? Great. Thank God we got our dehydrated ribeyes. Day 1. We got any more of this? Got plenty of it. What else we have? Well, that'll have to do. We'll go paleo on this one. I'm not trying to minimize people, but one time somebody told me, well, I got a fishing pole. I'm saying, no. People are, everybody always wants to tell you, you don't understand something. I've got my shotgun. Or when you bring up something, you say, well, there's a problem with this. Well, I don't watch cable. They always try to exclude themselves either from the problem or they show some unique sensitivity, some unique appreciation of the problem that nobody else has. Now, here's what we're doing right now. Number 1. Why doesn't the government say we are conducting a systematic review of the various things that are going on in the country so that you are safe? Remember years ago we said, for the next 60 seconds, your station, in conjunction with the emergency broadcast system, will be conducting a test. This is only a test. Remember that? Beep. Remember that? That's all they've got to do is tell us this. Remember the movie The Day After? Jason Robards? Yep. Now, listen to me carefully. That's all they'd have to do. They have to say, what are we doing? Don't be surprised. We're doing a lot. We have, as you know, from time to time, we're working to see where we're checking things and making sure that our preparation protocols are up to snuff, that they're working. So if you see drones out there, don't worry about it. Okay. Then that makes sense? Makes sense to me. Isn't that make sense? Sure does. That's all they have to tell you. But they don't want to tell you that. Why don't you think that is? Well, one of the reasons why is because, believe it or not, they love fear. They love fear. Now, speaking of which, there's something more immediate, a fear that many, many people are fearing or observing, and they should be thinking of more and more, and that is the notion of debt. What to do? I've got an idea. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Indeed, my friend. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up to your speed, I hope you said something out this morning. I had an absolutely great. Yes. This was called, what the hell is this one called? Let me read this to you. This one is entitled, pardon me, I'm being very rude here. This one is entitled, IS. Radiation detecting drones are WMDs or a dirty bomb lurking nearby. Did you see that this morning? Did you see it? You didn't see that, did you? I don't blame you. Are you subscribed to the newsletter/email? Newsletter sounds too highfalutin. It's really an email. That's all it really is. But it goes something like this. Listen to this beaut. This is beauteous. IS. The recent reports, and I'm kind of giving you the recent reports of unidentified drones over New York have fueled paranoia, though understandable, energized speculation and well-deserved concern with both government agencies and the public seeking answers. Because so far, not one person, locally or states, New York, New Jersey, has been able to figure out what the hell's going on. And I mentioned there was fascinating and frankly terrifying hypotheses have been posited. John Leake writes a wonderful one. Alex Jones. And I have a link here to this man who basically threw his entire job away by exposing whatever. Anyway, the FBI, DOJ, FAA, and the Pentagon have weighed in on the mysterious drone sightings. And they haven't offered any explanations. None. Now think about this. They don't know what it is. And we knew something was up. It didn't make any sense. We didn't think it was China or whatever, because they're all kind of different in any event. Last night we saw 4 coming back from Chappaqua. We were out there. It was friends for dinner, but we were coming back, and there they were. And remember, as we said before, since they are flying at night, this is very interesting because they're actually detecting something, because normally a drone has a lens on it, and for it to have a night detection, no. Anyway, the Pentagon categorically denied that the drones originate from foreign adversaries. Well, we're going to believe that. The DIA characterized public concerns as, well, a slight overreaction. The FBI. And despite these I guess attempts at reassurances, the lack of transparency has only fueled suspicions and invited speculation. So the question is, are these drones part of a clandestine government initiative? And if so, for what purpose? Well, listen to this. There was a press release was issued in October of last year from the U.S. Department of Energy. And it's titled, Radiation Detecting Drone Soars Over Portsmouth for Collaborative Testing. And this document describes the deployment of drones equipped with sophisticated gamma radiation detection systems. Quote, a drone outfitted with radiation detectors recently underwent testing at the Portsmouth site for a potential future use as part of growing collaboration between EM and the state of Ohio. These devices, think about this again, scan environments for traces of radiological material, potentially identifying hidden nuclear or nuclear radiological threats. Now, the problem is this question. Could these drones be part of a covert, and this is what we're talking about, this is it, and they're not going to answer the question, a covert federal operation aimed at detecting a radiologic threat, such as a dirty bomb, a device combining conventional explosives with radioactive materials, which represent a catastrophic risk in a densely populated area like New York City, and others as well. The mere possibility of such a threat would justify the deployment of radiation detection devices. However, the government's reticence and reluctance and unease in disclosing their activities only amplifies the public anxiety Americans are calling caca del toro. It is incredible. Don't forget continuity of government protocols. Now, this is also equally disturbing as a possibility of a false flag. Some commentators have speculated that elements within the government or other influential actors might stage an event to justify sweeping political or military actions and the interruption of the upcoming transition. A staged dirty bomb detonation, for instance, could be attributed to foreign adversaries and actors like Russia or Iran, providing a pretext for escalation in geopolitical conflicts. You know who's behind that, huh? Or I should say, who would benefit from that. Whatever you hear Iran, you know, okay? In the highly polarized political climate that we live in right now, this is not in any way inconceivable. And with the transition of power of President-elect Donald Trump approaching on the 20th of January, some people have raised concerns that a dramatic event could serve as a justification for declaring martial law or consolidating power under the current administration. Keep in mind, we can't turn this over. Keep in mind the triggering mechanisms of continuity of government COG protocols that provide for a host, a litany of situations to suspend or interrupt the transition of and to a Trump presidency. It's incredible. Now, keep in mind this. Social media, us, citizen media, different platforms like this, and journalists are critical, maybe now more than ever, to provide uninterrupted chains of discussion, review, and yes, wild speculation. You better believe it. Our federal government, under this otiose and concretized Biden reign of terror, has proven unable and unwilling to provide clear channels of truth. Look no further than how my country reacted during COVID mania in one of the most embarrassing spectacles of mindless subservience, and deranged detachment from anything resembling rationality and common sense. So, where do we go to find the truth, my dear friends? Where do we go find? Where do we go? Deb Kemp says, Happy Christmas, Lionel, and all from the UK. Thank you, Deb. Same to you, dear Deb. Brian Ekdahl says, what is your professional opinion on the drones? Have you been listening to a word I've said? Have you been listening to a word? Have you been listening to a word I have said? Have you heard one word of anything I've said for the past 45 and a half minutes? Anybody? Anybody? Am I, hello? Hello? Is this on? We have to look at questions. And I am not going to be able to independently go on and verify. Yes, these drones are equipped to determine gamma ray, I can't do this. So what I'm doing is I'm positing, I'm giving you, this is what people are saying. This is a hypothesis that's consistent with what we're suggesting. This is consistent, absolutely consistent with this. We don't know. Now, people say problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution. Okay. Hegelian dialectic. What does that mean? Do you think this is a Hegelian dialectic? Does it make sense to you? No. Why not? Because we don't know what the problem is. We don't know what the problem is. The problem is we see drones. And other people were suggesting, I think, well, one in particular said, this is going to lead the way for more legislation to limit drone activity. I don't think that's it. Pilgrim says, Bueller. Again, I thank you. I don't know what it means. So the question is, my friends, what does this mean? Where do we go to figure this out? Do you think Pete Hegseth is going to find it? You think Marco Rubio? Where is the president? Where is President Trump? Where is Elon Musk? I mean, we could use this. All you have to do is tell us we are doing a test to make sure that nobody's trying to hurt us. Okay. Would anybody here bother that? No. Would that offend anybody? No. Would you mind that? Not at all. Wouldn't that be good? Of course it'd be good. It'd be great. So why aren't they doing it? Why not? Because here's the thing. Let me tell you what the biggest problem is. And I want you to listen. And you can see right now, people don't really want to understand this. You really don't understand. You don't get it. If this happens, we had on 9/11, we were here, Mrs. Allen and I were here. And surprisingly, we kind of kept going. We really did. After all was said and done, I mean, they closed downtown, but before you know it, things were kind of okay. We were kind of moving along and doing our thing. You got this? You understand this? This is the part which is the most. This is the most critical thing in the world. But if there was something of this realm, it would be something that would be beyond anything you could even imagine. You would not be able to imagine it. Not at all. Not in the least. You would be absolutely unable, and I mean this. You would be unable to figure out exactly what to do. It would absolutely blow your mind. And we have never had our mind really blown. We have never had anything. Because Americans don't understand it. They really don't get it. And we talk about stuff. So you've got three groups of people. You got the Democrats or whatever it is. You got these folks over here. And they're kind of like children. I don't know what the story is, but and you have other people who just seriously don't get it. And all you have to do is listen and watch the reactions. They don't get it. And for years, I think it's because we've been spoiled. We've never had anything really bad happen. And we just don't, we can't, we live in kind of la la land. We live in a world with little, Instagram animals and laughs, and we're always trying to make jokes, and we're trying desperately. We really don't understand it. We have never really, really seen it yet. That's the part that scares me. That's the part that scares me. So when people say, well, what do you think it is? It's like, well, let me tell you what I think it is for the millionth time. It appears that the hypothesis that we've given makes complete sense. Now, is it up to the government or somebody to dissuade us? Maybe. But here's the thing. Right now, people are happy. They love especially the Republicans. They're just happy. They're just happy. Trump won. Hey, are you gonna go to the inauguration? People are, what was it, honey? $10,000? People, $10,000. The people that work to get elected are being asked to pay $10,000 for what? I don't want to go there. Like, does anybody here, honest to God, would anybody seriously want to go to the election or the inauguration? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I'm just saying, and we're gonna get tired of this, and one day it's gonna stop, and one day we're gonna, the drones are gonna go away. Okay, we're gonna go maybe back to that stupid that arse Luigi Testa de Cazzo about how he's hot and all that. We've already lost interest in that one. That thing is that this guy is such a dumbass. And in the meantime, this is the story. This is the story. So in any event, dear friends, I thank you for this. Don't get too upset. Pilgrim Media, Take It Easy, Brian, Deb Kemp, Johnny Maz, Paul Rodriguez, KN. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Appreciate it. Because one of the things which I find so interesting is not so much this, but the reaction. The reaction. I love when people now, for example, are saying, well, let me tell you something. They're not going to, this, thank God we got Bobby Kennedy Jr. We're not going to put up with this crap anymore with this. Well, what do you think happened? I don't know, but what do you think is going to, what do you think Bobby Kennedy is going to do? I don't know, but we're going to get this country folded like a cheap suit. Whatever they tell us to do, we'll do it. And maybe that's a good thing. I love when people get real mad. It's like there's a joke years ago of this police officer who pulls over a car. Two guys are in the car. It doesn't matter, race doesn't matter, but you can give it a racial tip. It doesn't matter. But anyway, but the police officer just roll down the window and he takes his flashlight and he hits the driver with it. And really hurts him. And then he walks around the other side of the car and he tells the passenger, roll down your window. And he hits him like this. He goes, why'd you hit me for? He says, that's because to prevent you from, as soon as you drove down the road, to say, I'd like to see him try that on me. Because Americans think we're very, very tough. We're not tough. We're compliant. We're complacent. We don't know anything. We don't do anything. We just sit back and we respond, and we love to make memes and jokes. But when it comes to getting real serious, no, not really. No. We'll talk about it. And then the people who come and say some pretty good stuff, believe it or not, Alex Jones, he might sometimes he might be a little too frenetic, probably more on point than anybody. They laugh at him because he scares people, because he doesn't. Here's another one too. Sometimes Mrs. L will talk about things involving children, and we've been places where people say, that's icky. Actually said that, icky. It's because Americans are like children. They just don't want to. They fancy themselves, knowing things and, waving. They know none of this stuff. Because somewhere along the line, whether it's because of our education or our maturity, or I don't know what. We're not really there. We don't know how to handle things. That's all. And sometimes I think, God bless social media, but there's so much for us to learn. So let me just tell you something. I hope this ends. I hope that all of these drones, if indeed this is some governmental plan to put the word out, I hope that the bad guys say now's not the time to do it. I hope that there is nothing that is detected. I hope nothing, but the fact that we have gone this long without, because there have been unaccounted for nuclear devices. And the fact that we've gone this long shocks me to no end. I have no idea. The good news is Trump's going to be doing it. But let me ask you a question. I think we've answered our questions. Number one, why are they flying at night? That's very interesting because they're looking for something, obviously, that you can detect any time of the day or night, and that is radiation, among other things, gas as well. And number two, why hasn't Elon Musk been there? Probably because Elon knows I don't want to go and basically tip anybody's hand because we're actually for this. Then again, why would President Trump say, shoot the drones down? I don't know. Maybe he just said that. I don't know. See, that's the thing. If you ask questions, as much as we love Trump, and we all do, everybody's got a moment where you say, why did he say that? I don't know. Well, that's the way he is. God love him. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's make sure. Okay. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Hey, let's chat about how Biden is selling off all the supplies for the border wall and pardoning a bunch of treasonous dopehead criminals. Drones are done and overplayed. You think so? You think drones are overplayed? I just explained to you. See, this is why we're doomed. I just spent 57 minutes 57 minutes talking about the latest hypothesis of detecting radiological or nuclear WMDs. And our friend here says drones are done and overpaid. I want to talk about how they're selling off the wall. What do you want to talk about? Well, I want to talk about it. Okay, go ahead. Well, I think that's terrible. Okay, anybody here? You want to stop that? Yeah. You want to talk about the pardons? You want to reverse the pardons? Well, no. Well, go ahead. Let's talk about them. You want to talk about them? Go ahead. Well, drones are over. People are freaking out. And somebody says, excuse me, pardon me. Yeah, I know the idea of a nuclear weapon being detonated, but I want to know where the wall that's being sold. That's my idea of important. All you others, and I want to talk about pardons that there's nothing you can do to it's done. You want to talk about the Mark Rich pardon too? That's what I want to talk about. I love when people say either this isn't important or this is a distraction. Can you believe this? This is where we are so doomed. We are so doomed. We lack focus in this country. Seriously. I think we should talk about the Hunter laptop. This poor Miranda Devine, every 5 minutes, she's got some other book or something saying, honey, it's over with. Well, we have to find out about the laptop. Please. It's done. It's whatever it is. We want to talk about Billy Saul Estes, maybe Watergate. We'll talk about that if you want. It's over with right now. Nothing we can do. This is the only, and maybe it's just because in this, there isn't anywhere you can go, any party, any event, anything, where the first thing out of somebody's mouth is, what do you think these drones are? Not, how about that wall? What? The wall. He sold off the wall. The wall? Yeah. Huh. Well, that's wrong. Yeah. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody. Remember, I love social media, but it's like going up to having a field of white billboards, getting everybody drunk and handing a can of spray paint and say, go ahead, have at it. And you go, and people love it. Spandex says, if the past is representation of the future, we are doomed. Well, we are doomed if we don't pay attention to what's going on right now. Because surprisingly, with all this newfangled social media stuff, we're still clueless. That's all. And I cannot possibly explain this enough. Laura says, went to inauguration 2017. DC sabotaged the event, creating a bizarre maze that made do it difficult to reach the Capitol. Don't go into DC in January. Absolutely. James Sparger says, border wall steel sits rusted and unusable. The end. Well, thank you for that. Another thing, Laura, after J6, I don't want to get near this place. Now the good news is our DOJ maybe is in charge of that. I have listen, let me see if I can explain this to you. President Trump and the cabinet, they're not the Stones. They're not, it's not a concert. They're not like, I know people, especially here, all they're going to do is they just want to take like selfies with everybody. I swear to you, they're like, they think that Vivek is a rock star. What? Oh yeah, I got a picture with Vivek. Oh my God, Carrie Lake. Is that Carrie Lake? What is she? Okay. Is that Carrie? Is that Lara Trump? Maybe I can get a picture with Lara or Laura, whatever it is. Trump. I don't get this. Excuse me. You think these people are stars? Oh yeah. Is that great? Is that Great Kelly? Great Kelly? What are you talking about? We are so bereft of heroes. That's why the left has to love this guy, Luigi Destemiglia, who shot this poor guy. We are just now the question is Kimberly Guilfoyle going to be there? I'll leave it at that. All right, dear friends, have a wonderful day. Oh, yes, you're right. February the 22nd at the Cutting Room in New York City. All of the information to all of our ads and all of our sponsors and February and the newsletter, all of it is here at Lionel Nation. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tonight at 7. And don't forget until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.